What if we told you Samsung's next foldables are already in production and will hit stores sooner than you think? Yes, the Galaxy Z Fold 7 and Galaxy Z Flip 7 have officially entered the production phase. According to new reports, Samsung has managed to stay right on schedule, the manufacturing beginning in late April as originally planned. That means we're now one step closer to seeing these two highly anticipated foldable phones on shelves. But there's a catch. Even though Samsung hit its timeline, it's making fewer units this year. The company has lowered its production targets quite a bit. For the Galaxy Z Flip 7, Samsung is only planning to produce 3 million units. The Fold 7 will be even more limited, with just 2 million units expected to be made. That's a 40% drop compared to the previous generation. Why such a big cut? Well, the overall foldable phone market hasn't grown as fast as expected. Despite all the attention, many buyers still prefer traditional phones. So Samsung is adjusting its expectations to avoid overstocking. The good news is that even with fewer units, the company seems focused on making this year's models more refined. Alongside the phones, official accessories for both the Fold 7 and Flip 7 are also now in production. That includes cases and other essentials that will likely be ready for launch day. But wait, Samsung might not be done with just two foldables this year. There are strong hints that a tri-fold Galaxy device is also coming later in 2025. However, only around 200,000 units are planned for that one. The reason? It's expected to be very expensive, and Samsung doesn't think it'll sell in large numbers. So for now, the Z Fold 7 and Flip 7 will remain the focus. So what's inside these phones? The Galaxy Z Fold 7 will almost certainly use the Snapdragon 8 Elite processor, the same one found in the Galaxy S25 series. That gives it top-tier performance right out of the box. But the Z Flip 7's processor is still a bit of a mystery. Some test models have been spotted using Samsung's own Exynos 2500 chip, but word is the chip might not be ready in time. If that's true, then Samsung could go with Snapdragon again for the Flip 7 as well. Either way, both models are likely to offer solid performance for their category. There were also some wild rumors claiming that the Fold 7 would be even thinner than the Oppo Find N5, which folds down to just 8.2 millimeters. But realistically, that's not going to happen this year. The Fold 7 might be slimmer than before, but not that slim. Interestingly, all this comes just as Apple prepares its own foldable iPhone, which may launch in 2027 to mark the iPhone's 20th anniversary. That gives Samsung a big head start to perfect its design and win over more foldable users before Apple joins the competition. And while Samsung seems to be on track with its launches, the same can't be said for everyone else. Rumors say Apple is facing supply chain issues that might affect iPhone 17 production, especially when it comes to giving every model 12 GBs of RAM. Meanwhile, Samsung's ability to start mass production on time puts it in a strong position for its summer release window.
Is Samsung already fixing what went wrong with One UI 7, just in time for the Galaxy Z Flip 7? One UI 7 took its time getting to users, and even then, it came with a fair share of bugs, confusion, and delays. But now, it looks like Samsung doesn't want to repeat those same mistakes with One UI 8. And if a new leak is anything to go by, they've already started testing smoother animations and smarter use of the cover screen, especially for flip phones. According to a post by ex-user Gamer, Omega One UI 8 is already showing early signs of improvement. One small but noticeable change is how app animations behave when you close multiple apps quickly. On One UI 7, if you shut down one app and then another right after, the first animation just freezes. It's a tiny thing, but it feels a bit rough when you notice it. With One UI 8, Samsung is fixing that. The closing animations continue naturally, even when you're quickly jumping between tasks. Again, this isn't a major change, but these small tweaks really do help make the experience smoother. It's one of those details that most people won't talk about, but everyone can feel. But here's the part Flip users should be excited about: the Now bar. If you've never heard of it, the Now bar is a feature that shows you important info at a glance, like current music, weather, or quick settings. But strangely, on the Galaxy Z Flip 6, it was only available on the inner screen. That's kind of a missed opportunity, right? After all, flip phones are all about the cover display. Why force users to open the phone to use a feature that's meant to be quick? Well, One UI 8 may fix that. According to leaks, Samsung is finally bringing the Now bar to the cover screen, and it could make its first appearance on the upcoming Galaxy Z Flip 7. That means you'll be able to access app controls and info without even opening your phone. Just glance, tap, and move on. It's a small fix, but one that could really improve the daily experience. There's even talk that One UI 8 could ship with the Galaxy Z Flip 7 and Z Fold 7 right out of the box. That would be a big win for Samsung, especially after the rocky rollout of One UI 7. These two foldables are rumored to launch during a big Unpacked event in July, although Samsung hasn't confirmed the exact date just yet. As for what else to expect, the Galaxy Z Flip 7 could get a slightly larger cover display, a Samsung-made Exynos 2500 processor, and maybe even a larger battery. The charging speed, though, is expected to stay the same. On the other hand, the Galaxy Z Fold 7 might be powered by the new Snapdragon 8 Elite processor.
Is Samsung really going to switch processors in one of its most popular foldable phones? That's the question shaking up the tech world right now, because if the latest reports are true, the upcoming Galaxy Z Flip 7 might be taking a very different path than expected. With Samsung's big Unpacked event just around the corner, likely in July, we're starting to get more and more leaks, and one recent report from the Korean media is turning heads. It claims the Galaxy Z Flip 7 will be powered by a Qualcomm Snapdragon chip like many assumed. Instead, Samsung might be going with its own Exynos 2500 processor, a move that would be a first for any Galaxy Flip or Fold model. Now, on paper, this sounds like a smart business move. Using their own chips could help Samsung cut production costs and rely less on Qualcomm. That could give them more control over their supply chain and possibly even push Qualcomm to lower prices for their high-end Snapdragon 8 Elite processors. But there's a catch. The Exynos line hasn't exactly had the best reputation in recent years. In fact, the Exynos 2500 was originally rumored to power the Galaxy S25 series. That didn't happen, likely because of yield issues. Basically, Samsung wasn't making enough good chips to use them at scale. So naturally, hearing that the same processor could now end up in the Flip 7 is raising some concerns. Yes, reports say production of the chip has stabilized, but some users might still be worried. Early buyers especially may wonder if the phone will be as fast and reliable as expected. And that concern is fair, because while the Exynos 2500 might work well enough, it probably won't match the raw speed and performance of the Snapdragon 8 Elite, which many other flagship phones will be using. Here's the thing, if Samsung keeps the price of the Z Flip 7 the same as last year, or even raises it slightly, and you're getting a slower chip inside, that might not sit well with some buyers. People expect progress, and if the performance feels like a step sideways or worse backwards, it could hurt how the phone is received. Now, while the Z Flip 7 may be getting this change, its sibling, the Galaxy Z Fold 7, appears to be sticking with the Snapdragon 8 Elite. That's what all the recent leaks say, including the latest report. So the Fold 7 should be on par with the best Android phones of the year when it comes to power. But this makes the Flip 7 situation even more awkward. Why is one foldable getting the top-tier Snapdragon and the other getting the in-house chip? That's going to be a tough sell for some. Production of both devices is reportedly starting in May, and for the Z Flip 7, Samsung is initially planning to make around 200,000 units. That's not a huge number, but it gives them flexibility. If demand spikes, or if the chip performs better than expected, they can always increase production quickly. Interestingly, there's no new information in the report about the Galaxy Z Flip FE or Z Flip 7 FE, the more affordable foldable we've been hearing rumors about. That could mean it's coming later than the main Flip 7 and Fold 7 models. It's also rumored to use an Exynos 2400 processor, which might help keep the price down. So, what do you think? Would you buy a Flip 7 with an Exynos chip inside, or would you hold out for the Snapdragon-powered Fold 7 or even wait for the Flip FE? Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and if you want to stay up to date with all the latest leaks and updates on Samsung's foldables, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel.